I wanted to make a few comments about death and its arrival upon mankind. When God created everything, He created Adam and Eve, He placed them in the garden and gave them one rule. There was one tree of which they were not supposed to eat, and they were not told how quickly they failed in following that rule. But when they ate of that tree, they were warned that if they did so, they would die. The Hebrew literally translates to, if you eat of this tree, dying, you will die. And when they ate of it, they realized that they were naked. And what that means is that they lost the glory covering of God, which this one sin that they, one rule they had that they violated, created a break in their relationship with God. And when they committed this sin, they were cast out of the Garden of Eden. When they were cast out of the Garden of Eden into the land of Eden, they started having children. And the goal was to expand the Garden of Eden, or make more places that would be beautiful like the Garden of Eden. And there was the whole Cain and Abel thing. Cain specifically intentionally left the land of Eden, went into the wide, untamed world. And so this was movement away from God. And when Adam and Eve sinned, they tried to make clothing for themselves out of vegetation, and they realized that wasn't working. And then with this, God initiated the idea of animal sacrifice, which communicated the idea that with sin comes death. So God offered up animals in the place to cover Adam and Eve's sin. And with the skins from the animals, He covered them. And this started a whole idea, a whole concept of animal sacrifice to cover for, to try to appease the gods. And with the Tower of Babel, when the languages were split up and divided and became different tongues, different concepts, and different gods, mankind kept moving away from God at this point, and started inventing new gods. And eventually, up until the time that God called Abraham out of the idolatry in Mesopotamia, mankind was inventing new religions, inventing new sacrificial systems, inventing new rules. And up to the point that God called Abraham, there was just mankind. And then once God established Abraham as the beginning of the Israelites, this created a dichotomy within mankind where there was the people of God and the not people of God. So eventually, Abraham inherited the land of Canaan. They left the land of Canaan, went down to Egypt, were enslaved. God released them through Moses' leadership. And they went back and overthrew the tribes that were living in the land of Canaan. Eventually, Saul was raised up by his own idea, and he failed miserably as a king. And then David became king, and there was a series of judges that ruled. Joshua took over from Moses, And there was a lot of faithfulness and unfaithfulness with the people of God. They were being influenced by the cultures around them. They were falling into idolatry and became enslaved several times, and then back and forth. And then the incarnation came. So from the time of the identification of the Israelites as the people of God up to Jesus' birth, that was considered the time of the Old Covenant with Mosaic law. And when Jesus completed the work that he had to do, the Old Covenant was made obsolete, and the New Covenant was put in place, where being part of the people of God was no longer about following Mosaic law, following dietary laws, following cleanliness laws, all these sort of things. Instead, it was recognizing Jesus as the Messiah, and it's no longer about being part of the Israelites. It was all about being baptized into the name of the Trinity. Being part of the people of God was being part of the church. So ethnicity had no bearing, had no importance, had nothing to do with being ethnically Jewish. So at this point, the church has always held that when Jesus completed his work, he destroyed death by his death, and with this opened up the path for mankind to return to a right relationship with God.